What's good, everybody? This is Translation Powered by Translation Media. I'm your host, Nick Beam.
This is Big Kurt with you.
And together we are Translation Media. Yo, so we got to kick the show off immediately and talk about the government shutdown.
Man, it's crazy, bro. Like it's sad that these people up on Capitol Hill and can't come to an agreement about government spending, healthcare, and things of that nature. Like it affects every aspect of life right now, and people are really nervous right now.
Right. No, I agree. I mean, it's a lot to be said. I think that when we talk about the government shutdown, you're playing with a lot of people's emotions and their livelihood.
Man, facts.
But I feel like the signals are being mixed on why there is a government shutdown.
Mm-hmm.
And, how this is impacting us. It's not a mixed understanding of it, but it is, but it isn't. It's like people they don't care about the semantics. They're like, look, our SNAP benefits are cut. And you got people that are fighting back and forth on who deserves SNAP benefits and who doesn't.
Yeah.
So it's just another year of disarray in the United States, and I feel personally like it doesn't matter who's in office. Like every term of presidency, there's been issues, and I think that this is one that goes down in the books of concern, because it's like, why are you shutting the government down, and why isn't there a department that specifically holds down the SNAP benefits or TSA? People are still traveling.
I just got back last night.
How was that? Yeah, you've been traveling quite a bit.
I travel a lot, and I just got back last night. And I'm gonna be honest with you, like the effects haven't hit yet. But also, I travel at different times that a lot of people don't travel. So, like when it's popular to travel, I normally don't travel during those times. So I got through TSA in 5 minutes. So
it didn't matter if they were short staffed or not. You was traveling at a time where it wasn't a huge demand to get.
It wasn't a huge demand going in. I was leaving. Actually, I left out on a Wednesday, and then I left back from my destination. I was in Tampa. I left back out of Tampa, and the time I think everything was a factor in that scenario. There's scarcity at the airport right now because people are nervous about traveling. So it wasn't really a long line when I left. And so when I went there, I got TSA pre-check. I signed up for clear just in case I had to get through expeditiously, because I wasn't too far from the airport from where my conference was. But when I got there, I got through smooth, and my experience was not bad. But looking up at the screen, there were a ton of flights that were delayed or even canceled because there is a shortage at a lot of these airports.
Wow.
So coming up on the holiday season, I'm going to pick up my daughter, and I'm bringing her back. So I think it's going to be a little bit more nerve-wracking around that time to make sure, because of the holiday travel. So I'm gonna have to be real strategic about my flight times and when I'm gonna be able to get out and everything else like that, because there are going to be a lot of flights canceled.
Facts.
The lines are going to be longer, and that's the reason why I'm taking into consideration making sure that I got that clear and that TSA pre-check and everything else like that. So when it comes time for me to get through my daughter, we're not having a stressful time in a situation, or we're not sitting in the airport for long hours and things of that nature trying to figure out how we're going to get back and forth.
Right.
So it's definitely an effect. People's SNAP benefits coming up on the holidays.
Yeah.
Their food, it's Thanksgiving time. And people aren't really going to be able to give thanks the way they want to if they can't access the funds for their food and their dinners that they're going to be trying to have.
Yeah.
So like I think people need to start planning ahead and start trying to figure out their situation, and families are going to really have to come together now, man. I think the family unit in our communities, not just in the urban community or black community. I'm thinking about in general. Like this affects everybody,
right.
And there's most of the people that are on SNAP benefits are white.
Yeah.
And if you look at it, but statistically they're white.
Yeah.
But when we're having a real conversation about when it comes time for Thanksgiving and Christmas, like if this government shutdown is affecting people's jobs, it's affecting businesses. So we really got to take into consideration, like, everybody has to be prepared for what's coming down this pipeline.
Sure. For me, you bring up some real valid points, and to me, it's not a color thing; it's a human thing.
Amen.
We've been on this planet diverse for as long as we know it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna talk about at the beginning of time or what people look like. I'm talking about in modern times that
For sure.
we've been on this planet for quite some time. So I think it comes down to a humanitarian thing. You know, human families. We all need to collectively come together and like you said, we need to make sure everybody's fed but I think the other part of it, because I've seen mixed reviews on social media. You got some guys that are like, we should all be fed, and it's very true. Like nobody should be hungry. Nobody. We should have an ample amount of food that feeds the collective masses. I don't think there's a food shortage. You know, I don't believe in any of that stuff. But when we talk about the economy and we talk about, you know, the government shutdown, I think the problem I have with everybody should have SNAP benefits, or, you know, SNAP benefits shouldn't be shut down. It comes down to dependency. You know, I'm not saying we shouldn't eat, and I'm not saying we shouldn't be compensated based off of taxes that we pay. Like, these are all things we have to talk about when we talk about the government shutdown, because, you know, taxpayers are pissed. They're like, hey, man, like, hold on, like, why am I'm going to work every day, even when the government shut down. I pay taxes. Why does my taxes go to this person who is neglecting the system? Because now all these negative things start to come up. Oh, well, you know, they're on EBT or they're on SNAP because they're abusing the system.
Yeah.
That's case by case. Whether it's true or not, doesn't matter the color. Whether somebody's abusing the system, is case by case. But to use that as an explanation of somebody starving and not eating is not okay. You know,
just think of it like
inhumane.
Just think of it like this. I got a question to ask you. Like, when you were in school, there was such thing called special ed, right? And, you know, when you graduate from high school, everybody that's in special ed goes to general population. So
where you going? I feel like I know where you're going with this, because I'm goofy as hell. But go ahead. I'm goofy because I'm like, wait.
So like,
are you saying these people's making decisions? Like,
so like,
go ahead, man.
I mean, these people. Some of the people are also there are people that are affected by SNAP, but some of these people are some of the people that have are legacy politicians and legacy government officials and legacy business owners.
You saying that these are some of these special ed cats?
Man, these motherfuckers making some of the decisions, man. I don't know, man. I don't, hey, man, look here, man. Look here, man. Like, come on, G.
Here's my issue with the politics, man.
They need a competence test when they get.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, my God, bro.
Conversation. But this is how I feel. It shouldn't be that hard. Like, clearly, if someone's disabled,
right? If
somebody's not capable,
right?
It's very obvious that they can't produce an income.
For sure.
We shouldn't be questioning that.
For sure.
Now, that's why you pay people to figure out whether or not somebody's abusing the system. You know, if you're because here's the thing is like, if you lean, I'm two sides to it. You know, if you lean too much on the foundation, it could crack.
Right.
You know, so if you got people that are abusing the system, you know, that might need some special attention. You know, you might need to look into that to make sure that these people that are supposedly abusing the system,
right, stop
abusing it. You know, but that's why you pay somebody to do that. But to say everybody's abusing the system is wrong.
But that's a part of what the government shutdown is. That's the reason why Trump is holding on to SNAP a little bit. I don't agree with it, but that's the reason why.
Yeah, you got to be
because he's trying
to
have more accountability. I ain't saying Trump is all bad, but he a weird dude. But at the same time, like he the way I think he has intention, and he does, like, you know, throw a stone, hide his hand type of commentary.
Of course.
And so, like, when he does that, I understand what he's doing. There's some oversight that saying, hey, now we need to get some checks and balances.
Yeah.
And I get it. But at the same time, don't let people suffer while you're trying to get checks and balances. Let's go through the process. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Again, the water gets muddy when it comes to politics, because it's like, you know, so you're going to starve out the whole, like, even, like, let's say, and I'm not going to say this in the sense of I agree with Trump, I voted for Trump. This is not about who I voted for. This is not about politics.
We ain't talking about that.
Well, because I'm saying, like, let's say Trump is doing everything right. But you have good intentions on fixing the system, but there's people starving.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So
exactly.
how do you fix that? Why are you fixing the other thing?
Right.
That's why you're in office, to figure that out. The average person may not be capable of figuring that out.
Mm-mm.
So you got to. That's what I'm saying. Like we're looking at this and we're pointing fingers and we're accusing people because this is the reaction that they desire for us to have.
Yeah.
It's too distracting.
Yep.
It's too divisive.
What are we getting distracted from, Nick?
I mean that might be, you know, we might have to set up the
we can't do anything. Holla at Maverick on that.
Yeah, we might have to set up the interview with Maverick or get on his show and talk about that, because we can go down that rabbit hole easily. But I genuinely think that, like, okay, if there's bigger things to figure out, people still need to eat, you know.
Sure.
But if you're setting an example, if you're sending a message to tell people, hey, you're not going to abuse the system anymore because we've had enough, like, you know, that could be an ongoing thing, you know, because then, you know, let's say you find out everybody's been abusing the system, then like, what do you do about that?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, it's just too many different moving parts. And I feel like there should be a division in the government that when things like this happen, okay, we still need SNAP benefits until we figure out who's abusing the system or not. We still need the fly. People are still traveling. So let's not scare people when planes go down, because that's the thing. There's been plane crashes, and then it's like, all right, well, plane crashes happen, and then now TSA shut down.
Kentucky
pray for everybody that has lost loved ones. That you know, pray for everyone. First of all,
pray for Jamaica too.
Jamaica, everybody. Pray for everybody going through something.
Yes,
but people are still traveling.
Facts.
People are traveling for leisure. People are traveling for work.
Yes.
So while y'all figure this out, you mean to tell me I got to watch planes fall out the sky, and then I got to question whether or not the TSA can handle, you know, not even just TSA, but just everybody in the flight and travel industry that works behind the scenes. I got to question whether or not they're capable, if there's enough capable bodies to make sure that if I get on this plane, my plane ain't going to crash. Like, it's just so many different things, and it's like you're disrupting, and first of all, you're inducing fear.
Yes.
And you're disrupting the economy because you're projecting your disagreements, and this is the end result. Yeah. So it's like you're scaring people. Like, oh, we can't figure it out. Shut everything down. Let the planes fall and let people starve, and let's see where the chips fall. And it's like, nah, man, we still got to live. And that's, to me, the issue with the government, because it's like, okay, we too dependent on them. We dependent way too much on them, and unfortunately, the SNAP benefits fall under that.
For sure.
You know, there's a fine line between privatized business and government, and I think all those things need to be divided. That way, if there is a disagreement, if something's privatized as far as like travel, there should be federal regulations to make sure that nothing immoral is going on. But should a shutdown happens, we need to be able to jump on the plane and travel comfortably until they figure that out. We need to be able to go eat while y'all. I'm gonna go have me a meal while y'all figure that out.
But who's the accountant for the accountants though?
Oh yeah, I mean, it's a slippery slope.
So
it's
like
a slippery slope.
Like they get into office and they're making all these decisions, and you know, a lot of these decisions are based on personal interest, business interest. So, what is their personal and business interest? Do we have a oversight for that oversight?
An overseer for the oversight.
Yeah, because like, you know, they're making decisions, and you know, saying that there has to be a bipartisan, uninterested party to be like, man, we can't really go down your direction because it's going to affect everybody else. And that's what I think, that's what's been the ongoing commentary when it comes to politics, and how everybody gets affected by both of these parties not getting together or coming to agreement on something. Because ultimately, I understand it. You know, you're only going to make, I always use an analogy like, you're only going to make people 80%, 85% happy. So, you know, you're not going to be able to make everybody happy. So, and I don't even try to make everybody happy, but you know, I try my best to make sure that we can come to an amicable agreement on things.
Yeah, again.
And that's the tough part about it.
Yeah, again, to me, those are all semantics. Like, people still got to eat. You know, so you mean to tell me this whole decision, like, think about it. You're an adult, and you have your hand out. That's like, and I'm not saying the EBT and SNAP thing is a handout. What I'm saying, collectively, we're waiting for the government with our hand out to fix our things that we should be able to fix on our own. That to me is the problem. It's like, all right, the government is supposed to be structured to serve us.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like that's how all this is supposed to work.
Mm-hmm.
And when they shut down, that means we can't eat. What? Like that to me, and this is not some conspiracy theory conversation. This isn't some rebel against the system. It's just a reality check.
Right.
If you leave this show with a gut check of reality, then I've done my job. I'm not trying to stir the pot. It's just like, for real, like, so people can't eat. Now you got people all on social media crying because they can't at the social services departments or buildings, and that's sad. It's like, yo, like, but then on the flip, it's like, what you gonna do? You know,
where is the humanity at in government though? To really be like, okay, we
got to
cut the SNAP benefits back on.
That's my point.
People are starving.
That's
like,
my point.
Exactly,
so like, it's a reality check to say, like, you gonna continue to rely on the government, or you gonna go out and figure it out, because you still got to eat.
Yeah.
You know, and but here's the other part. We collectively as a people have to be able to do it without being immoral, because no matter what the government, the politics are in government, there's this thing called universal law.
Facts.
So, and that's spiritual law. That's governed spiritual law. So, you know, when people are starving,
you come to their aid.
Yeah, you got to come to their aid.
So as a collective, we have to make sure that our communities rally together to take care of the people that need help, that need assistance.
Factuals.
So, you know, we need to scale back on your trips. You need to scale back on our shopping. We need to come together as a collective and help feed our families, our brothers, our sisters, and our mothers, and our children, to make sure that we are sustainable until this blows over.
Also, we need to practice local economics. This is one of the reasons why we started Translation Media.
Strong.
A lot of the guests that we plan to bring on in future episodes, you know, and they're locally based, or they're local in another market. Like, that's the thing is we've gotten away from supporting each other locally.
Facts.
You know, farmers markets are big. You know, you're taking that money and you're going to a farmers market, somebody that grew the fruit and vegetables, or they handmade the products.
Yeah.
And you're putting the dollar in their pocket.
Yeah.
And them
that's
in
not
turn,
big business anymore. That's not big business.
Yeah, but that's because that's structured and orchestrated. That's intentionally done. But the community is what thrives. What I truly believe in the idea of making America great again. And I'm not speaking. I don't know if Trump feels this way, you know. But
everybody got a vision. Go ahead.
What I feel is, well, this is the reason why America was supposedly great. I'm not talking about the innuendos of slavery or whatever.
It's the freedom
people
aspect
think.
of it. Yeah.
Well, it's the middle class.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the middle class.
Yeah.
The middle class are the ones that are the backbones of the modern U.S., modern America. These are people, and we come from Midwest homes, so we know our towns. We know manufacturing. Yeah, manufacturing. Yeah, you know, look how we treat sports. You know, I'm from Cleveland, Ohio, but proud, and we would go watch the Browns play after work. You know, we worked all week, and we look forward to a game, whether we win or lost the game. You know, at one point, baseball was America's favorite pastime, and I remember my first baseball game, I was bored out my ass. But then I understood why, because you could sit down for an extended period of time and enjoy a sport. I can eat. I don't eat hot dogs. I don't eat glizzies.
You was eating them back then.
I don't eat no glizzies. So I'm a vegetarian.
Okay.
But
now,
yeah. But to my point, you get a beer, you get a Polish boy, or, you know,
popcorn,
whatever,
nachos.
burger. You sit down, you watch 9 innings.
I was a nacho kid.
Loaded nachos. I ain't get jalapenos till I got older, but
Nerds.
yeah, you sit down and you snack for 9 innings, and you just get to enjoy camaraderie amongst the people you at the game
and
with.
Baseball made our country obese. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah, real talk. Them cats ain't in shape. No, I'm joking. Let me not say that. Somebody be mad. Like, hey, man, I saw the show. You know, but no, anyway, you know, I say all these things to say is we need to get back to the essence of what made us great, and that's community. That's, to me, what I'm getting away from this. Like, I'm taking from this, because if the government shuts down and we can't go to the supermarket, we should be able to go to the farm and we should be able to figure out a transaction, whether that's a couple dollars or goods and services to a bartering. You know, there needs to be something that we can do when situations like this. Now, the TSA thing, that's completely different. We need
gotta go old
people
school.
that,
We gotta go to the trains,
hey,
and we gotta go to road trips.
yeah.
Hop on the road trip.
Listen,
get gas.
I'm always good. I'm a sucker for a good road trip, and I feel like in America, maybe we take translation media on the road and we just do a actual old fashioned road trip to show people that they're missing out on the modern landscape and marvels of the United States. Maybe that's something we do, but like,
love to fly though.
yeah, but like, yeah, get me on the plane and let me fall asleep and wake up in another place.
4 hour max driving range.
Yeah, I did more than that. And that was a lot.
I mean, I did it in my younger days, but as I got to a certain point, man, I was like 4 hours max. That's why I like living in Vegas, man.
Yeah.
You know, I can
get anywhere. So international airport. You know, the weather is fairly nice all year round.
For sure.
We have a couple little wild windstorms, a couple wild winter weather advisories, but other than that,
it rains when that flooding hit.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
But yeah, man, you know, I think the moral of this episode is
Community.
you know, community and you know, government, cut the water back on.
Man.
You know, let people eat, but this is a reality check that we need to collectively get it together as humanity and go back to community to help each other.
Y'all greedy mofos need to stop being greedy, man.
Yeah, cut the water back on, man.
Stop being greedy, man.
Stop trying to wipe out the middle class.
Y'all got enough. Stop trying to wipe out the middle
we
class.
see you.
Let us eat. We
We
y'all
see
out
you.
there. Yeah, you ugly.
Yeah, we saying this from a surface level. We ain't gonna dig deep and point fingers on the right or the left, the red or the blue, or whatever divisive tactics and techniques. This is about community. Translation media was built on the back of that. We Midwesterners, our towns and our upbringing was built off the back of that. And we out here in Vegas, primarily based, and we're going to continue how we were raised to make sure that we communicate the message that this is bipartisan and this is a community-driven incentive in what we're doing. Everything that we're going to be doing is going to be driven to community and incentivized off community.
For sure.
So this is another episode of Translation, powered by Translation Media. I'm Nick Beam.
I'm Big Kurt. Live, love life, man, and stay solid, man. Every day, man. Love somebody, teach somebody, each one teach one, man. Be accountable for our communities, though. That's what we're talking about today.
That's right. Until the next episode.